people, I am back, and this time we are going to do chapter 4 of Stumpy's Tale for you guys. But I'm going to set you up where you can watch some sand boas play around for a bit, and just to help pass the time and give you guys and gals something to enjoy while I read y'all this next little piece. I hope you enjoy. Let's see, sorry about that. Alright. Yes, hope y'all enjoy sand boas. Let me try to get this right where y'all can see. Well, I don't know what the best view will be. Let's see. Alright, let me see here. Sorry, cannot get y'all set up right, hardly. I need to put something here. Balance this up or something. No. Well, we're just gonna have to deal with it. And there y'all go. Hopefully, y'all enjoy that. And we're going to read chapter 4 of Stumpy's Tale. Without further ado, time of change, people. Maybe I'll just move this around. Okay. It was months, I guess, but it seemed like overnight. The nest was not the same. Change was in the air. The little gators were disappearing one by one. Oh, there were a number still at the nest, just not as many. You would now run into one at this tree island, higher ground in the sawgrass, or that hedgerow. They were wondering more and more. And with the next dry season, a lot of new faces would be popping up in the main canal 4 miles away. This kind of made me feel good. It seemed like the little gators wanted to be closer to where the airboat was, but the canal was a dangerous place. Many of the bigger gators lived in the canal. Bull gators, they are called. In fact, Big John lives in the canal. Big John is a big 10-foot, 400-pounder that had just as soon eat a little gator as anything else. I never saw him get one, but he sure tried. When Big John even blinked, every gator, little or big, literally tail walked 15 yards. You've never seen anything as fast as a little gator with a big gator in hot pursuit. Stumpy was not to be found. I told his story for a while, but time takes care of such things, I guess. Anyway, I kind of put him at the back of my mind. In other words, I hoped I'd run into him someday, and in fact, that is exactly what happened. Literally. It was a standard run. I'd been moving ever so slowly in the canal. I turned into the trail leading to the grass. As soon as I felt high ground, I hit the gas hard, and headed dead for a 6-foot strand of cattails. Split second turn. Hit a steep curve at 40 miles per hour, getting on a plane. 5 seconds later, I was at full blow. It was at this point that Stumpy appeared, right in front of my airboat, which was moving 50 miles per hour. Was Stumpy trying for 55? He didn't quite reach his goal. Through the noise of the engine, I still heard and felt the bump. I made a quick 180 turn, which at that speed is real entertainment, sliding to a halt. I killed the engine. In the split second before we hit, I'd recognized him. Folks, I have to apologize. A lady from Ohio asked, "Is he okay?" Oh, he's fine, but I'm sure he didn't appreciate it at all. As I cranked and pulled slowly towards the scene of the crime, I hoped he was okay. I had never ran over a gator before, not ever. When I reached the appropriate area, I killed the engine again. Okay, Stumpy, I'm sorry. Nothing. I climbed down from my seat and made my way to the front of the boat. There was 3 marshmallows in tow. Okay, I said. I was sorry. A muddy little head popped to the surface about 10 yards away. I smiled and said a silent thank you to the man upstairs. Come on, bring your muddy self over here. Look at what I have for you. Marshmallows. I threw a half, which he took. I don't know if he remembered me, but he sure remembered the marshmallows. I made a marshmallow trail from him to me. Come on, little buddy, come on. I'll help wash you up a bit. I'd never touched him, ever, but I would this time. If he'd just get close enough, I fully intended to catch him. No need for plots. Stumpy kept following the bits of marshmallows right up to the boat. I dropped a whole one, which he took. At that point, I eased my hand under him and ever so gently picked him up. Stumpy just kept munching on his treasure, and I started petting him. Well, little one, no bumps on the noggin, no broken bones. Stumpy kept munching. Cameras were clicking like machine guns as I eased him back into the water. Now listen, I'll be going out this trail 10 minutes later. I'll be back. You get going. I gave him a little push. I stood up to a round of applause, which felt great. I hopped back up on my seat and off we went. True to my word, 10 minutes later I was back at the same spot. 11 minutes later I ran over Stumpy. Alligators are not brilliant creatures, but they are tough. I guess in all, I ran over him 5 times that day. Now, that would be hard on anyone's nervous system. Anyway, Stumpy took a few days off. Then he popped up again, only to be run over again. It seems as if he were migrating, but did not know where, the nest or the canal. All I know is he sure got run over a lot. It was during this time that I thought seriously about taking him out of the wild. It was highly illegal, but visions of him playing in my bathtub ran high. I just about decided to take the risk when he disappeared again. Maybe he read my mind and didn't want to live in a tub. It would not have been right anyway. He was a wild creature of the Everglades, not a rubber toy. In time, I got that idea out of my mind. Later, Stumpy returned. Being a territorial creature, he finally staked out his little corner of the world. He chose an area no other alligator in his right mind would want. The cut. This was the area where I left the drain canal and hopped up into the sawgrass trail. Just imagine living in a place that had hurricanes every 30 minutes and you have the idea. I tried to remember to watch for him, but sometimes I just forgot or assumed wrongly. He was not at home. Anyway, poor little Stumpy got ran over many times. Of course, I'd make up with a marshmallow and a friendly rub. I was handling him more and more now. I made jokes about how he had been run over so many times that I'd shaken his little brain loose. How dumb he was to have chosen the cut to live in. How many times the airboat had blown him bodily out of the water was not known. Stumpy used his little brain well. He was on the edge of no man's land, or in this case, no gator's land. The other gator was here. Stumpy was neither in the dangerous canal filled with the larger gators, nor in the open sawgrass filled with the birds of prey. All he had to contend with was a noisy airboat filled with tourists and me. He had lost all fear of me personally and became quite indifferent to the boat. If he was perched up on his favorite log and I remembered to slow down, he'd just hunker down until the wind and spray subsided. If I didn't remember and just came blasting through, a wall of water would wash him completely off the log. He'd just climb back up with as much dignity as possible. In short, he seemed to forgive the dumb human in his bad manners. Stumpy had figured out, it seems, how to survive in a very hostile place. He seemed to be happy in his little corner of the world. Then one day, he just changed. It was a cool morning, and one of those days when you really hope the tourists would stay away. They never do. Before I had a chance to finish my second cup of coffee, there were 10 Germans wanting to be in the Everglades. When the birds and alligators awoke, well, it does not quite work like that in South Florida. People and wildlife alike wait for the sun. Oh well, off we went. After 15 minutes of nothing, as in no fish, no birds, no nothing, I decided to head out into the grass. I kicked up a full blow, and off we blasted. Cool turns to cold, ice cold, at 50 miles per hour, by the way. At the nest, I cut the engine. The Germans were having a fantastic time. Me? I had a 3rd-degree frostbite at least. Anyway, I started talking about nothing, because that was what was at the nest. Nothing. Enough was enough. The half hour was about over. I was cold and disgusted with the wildlife. Something could have made an appearance anyway. I braced myself for the cold wind, and off we went, arriving back into the canal. I eased the engine down, hoping for a miracle. I had never made a trip without seeing at least one alligator. But this was a lousy day. As it turned out, miracles do happen. To our left, lying in the canal, was none other than Stumpy himself. It took me about half a second to kill the engine and introduce Stumpy to the Germans. The little guy looked as cold as I felt. "What's the matter, Stumpy? Not cold, are you? Here, have a marshmallow." The Germans laughed. I laughed. Stumpy didn't, of course. He just lay there not moving, and giving us a "you got to be crazy" look. 2 marshmallows, 3, nothing. Oh, hold on, I lost my place. 3 marshmallows, nothing. I knew he was too cold to eat, but I thought I'd give it a try anyway. Oh well, maybe next trip he'll be more agreeable. On a day like this, toasted marshmallows would be great. The Germans were pleased, and so was I. As we pulled away, I wondered why he was in the canal rather than the cut. Oh well, he was there when I needed him. The rest of the day, Stumpy was more or less in the same spot and remained in the area. Much to my surprise and delight, the other alligators didn't seem to notice him at all. As days passed, then months, nothing happened. Stumpy didn't bother anything, and nothing bothered him. Not Big John, not Artie, not Alex. Those bull gators were the ones I thought for sure would end his little life. Nope, there was no problem. But one day, Big John was hot in after Artie with murder on his mind, and he passed right by me, Stumpy, and a group of French ladies. I'm sure Stumpy's heart stopped for a second, and I'm positive about the French ladies. There is nothing like a 10-foot gator trying to eat an 8-footer only a foot and a half from you. To get that old adrenaline flowing, I started leaving out about how Stumpy would not make it. When I gave my lecture instead, I now pointed out his age and how he had not grown an inch in 3 years. He was a cute runt that would never grow up to be a real big gator. Well, I was right. He would never grow up. And people, that is the end of chapter 4. I hope you enjoyed watching these little baby sand boas while I was reading you chapter 4. last one is chapter 5, actually. It's not very long, but this video is getting too long here. It's already 15 minutes, so I am going to read the last chapter to y'all next. Peace, love, and happiness to everybody.